Oh, wait. So she put for attendance, she's like, no, it doesn't. She's like, I don't really think you abuse it. She's like, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's good because like I worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So they got all that, huh? I don't really think you abuse it. She's like, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's good because like I worry about that. Yeah. Oh, wait. So they got all that, huh?
We're on Zoom, right?
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, and now we're gonna be caught in a loop. Okay. Right.
Right? Yeah.
Well, at least I know the speakers are working.
Oh, did you see that the Sabres might want to bring in Grönberg as an assistant? So, like associate head coach?
Bring in who?
Grönberg, the guy from like Sweden that,
Oh, the other guy they interviewed?
yeah. Because he wants to make the jump to the NHL like this year.
Mhm.
But like I guess there aren't a lot available. Like not a lot of people are talking to him.
Yeah.
So the Sabres are kicking around the idea of seeing if he'll want to come in for like a couple years because it was interesting. They are thinking with, I think it was Vogel who said this, that
Talking.
that they think of Granato as the developmental coach. That's why he got a 3-year deal.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking and I was saying like he's the bridge, like you and I were saying
Yeah.
that.
He got a bridge deal as a coach.
He got a bridge deal
Yeah.
as a coach, and he's the bridge where he's going to develop the young players, and then they're going to bring in a coach who can win.
Right. Like they're going to bring in like a Quenneville or something, like one of those,
Yeah.
like,
Not Quenneville.
well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
Scotty Bowman.
yeah.
He's 80 years old.
So, but I do think that's interesting that, first of all, that we were right. And second, you know, that is the point,
Yes, I agree.
you know, that like with that the expectation is for Granato to make a bench of coaches who are developmental coaches and have this be treated.
So Ellis would make sense.
Ellis
Adam
Girardi
Mayer.
coming back would make sense. Like Kronberg would make sense too, because if he were to help with this developmental process for the next 3 years, he could get a head coaching position.
Right.
He could make that jump.
Right.
When they're like, okay, time
You
to
can
bring in
develop
a real
players.
guy.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that he can become.
Well, there would be some continuity too. I mean,
well, yeah, I think it would be. I mean, I don't think you're gonna fire Granato, but I mean, I'd like it's not gonna be viewed like that. But I do think that if the Sabres are in the right place by the 3 years, he's just not gonna come back. They're just not gonna bring him back.
no, they'll move him somewhere else within the organization though.
They'll move him down.
Down. Then he wouldn't stay.
Oh.
You move him to assistant deputy chairman, you know, vice president of hockey development
Well, you can
and
put
culture.
him. You can put
or
him
something.
in Adam Mayer's job, which is running the Harbor Center, running all that stuff, as
Yeah.
well as running the player developmental stuff,
Right.
or whatever that is.
Right.
So, like, because you could do what you just said, make Adam Mayer a coach.
Right.
Then, when the 3 years are up, just be like, okay, bye bye,
Right.
and then you move Granato, you bring in a real guy, and
Yeah.
you win a Stanley Cup.
We just figured it all out, folks.
That's yeah.
We just figured out how the Sabres are going to win a cup. Welcome. It is Wednesday, June 30th,
Worst
2021.
day.
Worst day of the week. Absolute worst day of the week. Wednesdays. Don't ask us to explain why, because you should know. So you cannot. Okay, fine. If you want to ask why, you want to find out, ask us in the
chat.
in the chat
You
room.
can ask.
You can ask. If you have other questions for us, ask us in the chat. Or no, that's it. That's the only way we're communicating today. Unless you're our wives, then you can call us. Aside from that, there's really nothing going on in sports, would you say, right?
Nope.
Nothing.
We have
Yeah.
nothing to talk about today, so it's gonna be like a real quick show.
No, like, Black Widow's coming out.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't suck.
Did you see what just came out? F9.
No.
It was good.
Okay.
I mean, it was completely unbelievable. Like, but I mean, not unbelievable. Like, it was. You know what I mean?
No, I understand.
I mean, they do things.
Didn't they like leap from space in this one, or was that one?
Yeah.
So
It's
yes,
awesome.
It's a little unbelievable.
It's awesome. They
Didn't the guy who actually did that like die?
Oh, I don't
Like
know.
free fell from space.
Oh no, they didn't free fall.
Oh,
They went up into space.
Oh,
in a car with rockets. No, it wasn't him. It was Ludacris and
it wasn't.
no, it was Ludacris and Tay Diggs.
Oh.
Right? Tay Diggs? Yeah. It was the two of them, and they ended up at the International Space Station.
Weird.
It was amazing.
Okay.
It's based on a true story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Loosely based.
Loosely. Yeah. Definitely loose. That's for sure.
It's like a hornet hole. I heard Black Widow doesn't suck. I've read reviews and they are very good.
Okay.
So, yay. I kind of feel screwed over by Regal.
Why?
Well, okay, so so when movies started coming back, they decided to start charging people again who had the monthly pass. And I had the monthly pass. I loved it, right? And that kind of thing. And then so I called them to cancel because like the only movies that were coming out, there wasn't anything coming yet. So this was like 3 months ago maybe or something, and there's been nothing until like now.
Right.
Worth seeing. And so I'm like, I'm not paying to get it. And they're like, well, we've given everyone who was a member a full year free of a pass.
But why were they charging you?
Well, let me get to the story.
Okay.
So I canceled the membership because I said, oh, so I'll have a full year free. And they go, yeah. So I'm like, well, cancel my membership. So after that year goes out, I don't want to be a member. And so they did. They canceled the membership, and then they were like, they didn't actually talk to me. After they canceled the membership, I went to use my pass, and then they charged us. They charged me for the monthly fee.
Yeah.
And then they sent me an email saying, we're sorry we charged you for the monthly fee. We're taking the monthly fee off minus your ticket price. So I got like $5 back because the monthly fee is like $21 now.
Okay.
And my ticket, was like $15 or whatever it is at Regal. So basically my free year is gone. That's the way I understand it, because I had to pay for 2 tickets when we went to see Fast and Furious. Because this was for the movie we saw before that, which I can't remember. Oh, A Quiet Place. 2.
You kind of got chipped there.
It seems that way.
They lied.
Liars. You lie. Man, we need a producer for the show. Anyone who's looking for a summer internship and wants to produce our show, you're more than welcome because we could use a producer. Also, anyone selling a whiteboard, a very big one that would cover the back of our studio here, we would really like one because they're kind of expensive. I think.
Well, what we got on the docket?
What?
Besides I said, what do we have on the docket?
Yeah, they're like
Holy shoot! Oh my god!
96 by 48 steel silver frame, $270, 334 for
Why
one.
are they so expensive? It's a whiteboard. You put it, isn't it?
Well, we have the one over there.
Yeah.
Right. We could use that and like hold it.
That's a lot.
Or we could drop it down from the ceiling. We need a producer for the show. So if you're looking for a summer internship, GameDay716 is the place. Just email GameDay716@gmail.com. And maybe one of us will check it.
Hopefully.
No, I check it. I check it on my phone. This one for $270 looks pretty good. Maybe I'll see if Grandma will buy it.
$170
Maybe I'll work on Grandma for this.
for a whiteboard.
Hopefully Grandma's watching
She's driving.
tomorrow.
Oh. Okay.
So next week we'll probably have some family on. Some of our family. Who is it?
Oh, it's Owen Power.
Oh. I thought you said OJ Simpson.
No.
Ooh.
Making a joke. Because it's hair.
Oh.
He has like a mullet going on. We're looking at a picture of Owen Power and he has like a mullet.
See, I don't know, and I
But
don't
it
know
doesn't
how to
look
display that. It doesn't look bad. He looks like a young Unabomber.
Oh, that's great to be compared to.
Well, a young Unabomber was a genius.
Who then went to be the Unabomber?
Later, like he can play hockey. He can play hockey for the Sabres,
Or he could be the Unabomber.
and then go and do whatever he needs to do.
No, not just play hockey. He can win us a Stanley
Win
Cup.
us a Stanley Cup playing power forward, left wing, because they're gonna convert him.
It's like Bane. Now and then you have my permission
right.
to die.
Right. So,
Oh, tomorrow is Bobby Bonilla Day.
so let's start with some actual sports news in the NCAA.
You don't think Bobby Bonilla Day is sports news?
Oh, it is. It is.
He's getting paid what, 1.2 million?
Is it 1.2?
1.2
I thought it was just $1 million.
From every July 1st from 2011 to 2035. 2035.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Raise a glass.
Uh-oh. Detroit's third round pick, who is 6'5" and a goalie, will not be signing for them. He played for Quinnipiac. Was 17-8-4 with a .926 save percentage and a 189 goals against average.
That's not bad. What's his name?
Keith Petruzzelli. Petruzzelli.
You nailed it.
Petruzzelli. Keith Petruzzelli, Quinnipiac.
He's told
6'5".
Detroit, you're so bad, I'm not signing with you, so I'm gonna go sign with Buffalo.
He was a third round pick in 2017. Third round pick.
Well, remember when Cal Peterson did that to Buffalo?
That's true. He went to LA and no one ever heard of him again.
Except he's their starting goalie.
Yeah, but he's not winning any awards.
He's won the Peterson Award at his household.
Oh, okay. For being the best goalie in his house.
Best goalie in his house.
I'm sure that was tough.
It's a tall task.
All right. The NCAA.
The NCAA starting tomorrow.
Yes.
A new term is going to exist, a new acronym that matters for the NCAA. NIL. L?
NIL. Yeah.
No, I was just trying to figure out which way L is. Well, I know it's okay.
Well, it's this way for us, but it would be this way for them.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. So it would be the opposite of what it is for us. For them.
So it's NIL. No, that was J. Whatever. Why are you looking up Wisconsin and not looking at their volleyball players?
Because we're talking about the NCAA and NIL laws, and I was going to bring up the point about the Wisconsin QB. So continue, and I will bring up my point.
Okay. So Noah's looking up Wisconsin, and he's not looking up their women's volleyball team.
God.
Kenzie Knuckles, I apologize.
Well, anyway, all I was going to say was that we actually had our first trademark of a logo.
Well, hold on. NIL stands for name and likeness.
Yes.
Name and likeness.
Yeah.
Players are now able to use their name and likeness to make money.
Yeah.
So they can get endorsement deals. They can show up in video games. They can,
which I'm assuming they're not going to do with NCAA for a couple of years. They're going to make sure this is a cash cow first.
Pay them $1, you know.
Well, they get to negotiate, so.
Yeah, but you know,
you're gonna actually this now. I mean, with the death of amateur,
it could be worse. Yeah,
it could be. Well, not even that. But I was gonna say, with the death of amateurism in college, you're now gonna have a completely new avenue for sports agents.
Are they allowed to have agents?
Extent. I don't know if they're allowed to have agents, but
I mean, Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent.
But he's in the NFL. But I bet you there will be a workaround where it will be like, well, I'm not really a sports agent, but I do have my MBA in sports agency, like, and I used to work with Rosenhaus or whatever his name is, and
you got it.
Yeah. So, but like, I bet there will be a workaround because you're gonna have all of these kids trying to negotiate these deals. And if they're not allowed to have agents, I will bet you within the next couple of years, there will be a rule added to that will make it so they can have some type of advisor. Because you're going to have kids.
I'm just reading the article now. See, and this is why we need a producer to tell us everything.
But first of all,
athletes will be allowed to sign with agents or other representatives.
There you go.
To help them. You could have just looked it up to help them acquire endorsement deals.
Well, there you
the
go.
New rules will allow athletes to profit by monetizing social media accounts, signing autographs, teaching camps and lessons, starting their own businesses, and participating in advertising campaigns, among many other potential ventures. So Kenzie Knuckles.
Well, there you go.
It's time for you to give me a call so we can make you famous. GAMEDAY716.
Like I was saying.
.com.
This has
Gmail.com.
This has now opened up a completely new avenue for sports agents. And I mean, this is
right
huge. I mean, across the board, not just
or representatives. I mean, most of these kids are going to use their parents.
I mean,
most of these parents are going to use their kids.
There's gonna be no. There's no. You cannot trust. You can.
This is going to become a thing, if anything. Parents representing their kids.
which is fine, but like
you know
you're
who's
also
representing Lamar Jackson?
his mom.
His mom. Yeah.
Yeah, his mom has also been representing him for years.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Which is fine. I'm not saying it's wrong. But you can say what you're gonna say.
no, I think this is going to become a problem is when parents think their kids are better than they are. And then they're gonna try and negotiate things and screw their kids over.
Well, that's when that's when the kid then has to make that decision.
Look, if Britney
Because-
Spears isn't allowed, like,
I-
life,
yeah.
right? How are college kids going to be able to separate from their parents who they have to go home to
Well,
every
they
year?
might not have to go home depending on
True.
how they negotiate these deals.
True, they could be teaching at camps or going to whatever, and you know
Or
that
get a
kind of
$10
thing.
million
Or
endorsement deal
going
with
to the
Gatorade.
Olympics and yeah, whatever. But
And I understand that, but you are going to have the ones who know that they're superstars and the ones that know they're good, like Graham. I don't know if he's that good, but he's good enough to be a name.
Graham Mertz,
Right, who will trademark themselves, their personal logo, and that's already a start. Like that's already something. But like I think if it works for the kid, then yes, have the families represent it. But you're right, you are going to run into that issue. It's the LeVar Ball syndrome, which is when
Lamar Ball.
Yeah, but isn't the dad's name LeVar?
Oh, he's Lamar.
Isn't Lamar the kid?
It's LaMelo. Why are we so bad at this?
LaMelo Ball dad. Yeah, LeVar Ball.
That's
Okay.
what I said. Why didn't you listen to me?
You said Lamar.
No, you said LeVar Burton.
What?
And I said LeVar Ball.
No, that's
Yes.
not. No, that's not what happened.
Look, LeVar Burton is hosting Jeopardy soon.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who did Reading Rainbow
Oh,
and was on Star Trek.
okay. Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow, yeah.
Reading Rainbow pulled me in more.
Okay, so the Star Trek with Patrick Stewart.
Okay, yeah, never seen that. So
Really?
yeah,
You'll never have to watch it with me.
cool.
Are you guys taking the DVDs or no?
I didn't ask her, so I don't know.
Oh man,
I know, I
Jackie, if you're
forgot.
watching,
She's not.
all right.
I can tell you that. But yeah, so this is huge across the board, but I think you're also going to have kids sticking up for themselves, and I know that is probably going to be hard, but there could be a rule. You could see something implemented that would like
Have some
help
sort
that sort of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is going to become a problem, and that
I just don't know what that rule is without being like
It's gotta
he
be
can't be
sta-
represented by his family. which is what we
separation,
can't do.
equal representation, like something constitutional,
They could make
Right.
a rule
like separation or equal, like the kid needs to prove that they're actually making money off it and not their parents or whatever.
Or you could if they want to be represented by their family, you could just make every single kid have to take a meeting with an agent no matter what. Be like, you have to sit down with them and everybody should go and listen to this guy before you say, I want my mom representing me. At least listen to what they have to say. And that's the most you can do.
You know what's weird though? And I mean, this is just because we were talking about it before the show, right? But there's so many. This is going to be a mess for a couple years, right?
Well, I mean,
I think that's
you
where
opened a
I'm going.
Pandora box. Well, I think we're both agreeing on the same thing. You opened a huge Pandora's box with this, but in a mostly positive way, because now you're allowing these kids who have been taken advantage by the system for years on end, making these colleges billions and millions of dollars, while the kids get none of it. So this allows them to now get a piece of that pie. And it's the death of, amateurism in sports. But you're opening a huge Pandora's box where you don't know how bad this can get. Because you could have, think about how many college, it's across every single division. So think about how many college athletes there are across all sports. I mean, you could have 50,000 LeVar Balls. You could have these
Oh, I agree.
a gazillion parents trying to take advantage of their kids, making the kids not take an agent. You're making the kids be like, I'm going to represent you. That's the way it's going to be. And like, we don't want to think of parents that way, but it's going to happen. So I don't know if there is, you can't implement something right now, like stating
No, you
something.
have to wait for it to happen.
Right, because then you can make a rule reacting to what happened. And like that's going to be bad, because what you're going to be reacting to, it's going to be something super extreme. It's going to be like the dad ran away with the $10 million that he made off his Adidas deal on the way to the NBA and is now living in the Caymans. Like, it's going to be something like that, where you're like, whoa, that's not right. And then they're going to have to implement some rule. But you can't even talk about what type of rule that is, because they have to react to what's going to happen.
I have the similar problem, though, thinking about it from an agent standpoint, because it's not a similar problem, but how do I?
The only thing I will say about agents is, if they are bad to these kids, if they go wrong, it ruins their reputation as an agent and the agency's reputation.
Okay, but
which is, I mean, that's huge, though.
But okay, we were just talking about this and reading about this before the show, right?
Mhm.
With the Chicago Blackhawks situation.
Sweeping it under the rug.
Sweeping it under the rug. People knew that a member of the Blackhawks was sexually abusing, or tried to sexually, was accused of sexually assaulting.
Accused, yeah.
He was accused of sexually assaulting 2 Blackhawks players during the season in 2010. Now, this is the stuff that scares me, especially with college kids, right?
Mhm.
Who are trying to make a name off of their likeness, because it can be the kind of thing where someone can really take advantage of them, maybe not just financially, right? And that's the thing that scares me more than the financial side, is their health, their well-being.
And the unfortunate thing with that too,
and again, that's
you're
going to have
not
to
going to be able to do anything before you can.
And that's what I was saying, that it's all going to have to be based on reaction.
I mean, this could go well, mostly. Like, it could be like a few cases. Maybe they end up just implementing a rule because there are just like, enough cases to at least make noise, but not enough to be like the NIL should be abolished, kind of thing. Right. Or like there needs to be huge changes.
Okay, like you said, they opened the Pandora's box, right? Yeah. So the NIL is not going away.
Yeah, it's not going away, but I know it'll never go away. But I just mean, like, there's a possibility here it could go fine. There aren't enough stories to say, okay, we need to make huge changes, and they could just be like, okay, right, well, we'll make this change anyway, so it makes us look good, because we're like, okay, we got, I don't know, I wish I knew the number of all the college athletes in America, but like,
oh my God, there's like 80,000 or something.
80,000. Okay, so me saying like there's 1,000 cases wouldn't be ridiculous.
No,
but so like they're like, okay, we saw 1,000 cases, a bunch of them made the news, some were really bad, we're going to implement this rule, and that could be the way they go about it. But I really do not think it's going to go well, at least for a little bit. I mean, like I said, you do truly never know, because a lot of this is going to be reacting on the fly. I mean, that's what all this is going to be. All these changes are just going to be consistent changes on the fly, because you're going to have to be reacting to stuff in real time, because you're not going to know until you know. So this goes well, great. Be weird, but I feel like nothing ever goes right for the NCAA anymore. But
Well, what do you think about the 12 teams? 12 team football playoff.
I think, yeah, that's great. And I like the way they're going to do it too, that it's not just going to be all Power 5 conferences,
Right.
that they're going to include the winners from like the Mountain West and the MAC in there. And
Is it the MAC? They're including the MAC?
they're including the G5, the lower,
That's not the MAC.
the
Right.
lower conferences, the one that's not the Power 5, the one that those 5 conferences below it.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I think it's great. I think doing it that way, I mean, the 4 play, it works until
It's the Power
now.
5, the G5, and then 2 at large.
Yeah,
Right?
I think so. That's right. Right. But the 2 at large, I think, are just chosen.
That's what at large means.
Okay, you're right. Duh. But no, I think the 12 college playoff. I mean, they should just jump to 12, honestly, because I mean, you are seeing great success with this playoff. But the issue is taking the top 4 teams like that. You're getting the same teams. While most of the games have been absolutely fantastic. I mean, you got to see Trevor Lawrence ball out, like nobody's ever done before. We got to see the same thing with Joe Burrow right after that. We got to see great performances in these playoff games. But unless there's an LSU again, which doesn't really come along every often enough for you to make a case for the 4, this is what you have to do, because you need more teams in there. You need it spread out more. You need less Alabama's winning, and or at least you need a chance.
Opportunity.
Yes, you need the opportunity, because it's any given Sunday, right? You never know. Alabama has been beaten.
Yes. But not by UB.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, maybe they kill UB, but then they go on to lose to
Michigan State,
sure,
the 8th seed.
Ohio State.
But that wasn't that the championship last year?
Was it? I thought it was Clemson again.
Clemson. Oh, it was Clemson.
Yeah.
No. Whatever. We're bad at this.
I'm pretty sure it was Clemson, Alabama again, because that was Lawrence. But
regardless, Ohio State was in the top 4.
Okay, well, Michigan. Michigan State's not good right now, and I'm willing to say that. I'm not saying that Michigan's better than them, but
no, they are.
But Michigan's comparable because Ohio State was there, but Michigan will have the opportunity, if they can actually hold it together for a whole season, to be in there.
Did you see they just got a quarterback who transferred?
Yeah.
He's like a 5-star or something. 4-star?
Yeah.
You need a quarterback.
Yeah.
You're just not a Michigan State fan anymore?
Oh, I thought you said Michigan got him.
No, Michigan State.
Oh, okay, cool. No, that's cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, we do need a quarterback because Lombardi isn't it. But you'll have a chance. You need the chance for the Alabamas and the Clemsons and the Ohio States to lose. You need that chance. And with this, you're getting that chance. You're providing more intrigue, and honestly, you should be bringing in more fans, because you're now also going to get the fans of those schools watching, those people going to the games and that kind of stuff. I mean, it should bring in also more revenue, because you can say this is for the championship. This is the playoffs for the championship. Oh my God, let's upcharge the tickets. So
that's true.
They'll
be able to sell more. So, question 3.
Okay.
And I mean, we're not even on our stuff yet, but this stuff just is popping into my head. So, question 3 of the day: should UB expand the stadium to at least 30,000 so that when the Bills rebuild, they can play at UB? If if the rumors are true that they're staying in Orchard Park and they're not going to be able to play in Highmark Stadium,
Yeah.
and right now the options are Toronto or Penn State, right?
Yeah. How isn't the Bills Stadium like 60,000 though?
It's like 72,000, but
So
74,000, something like that.
you can't do that.
You can't do what?
If UB Stadium is only 30.
Okay, the NFL, that's the NFL limit.
What?
30,000. It's like the NFL's limit is like 30,000 seats. in
Okay,
the
are you
stadium.
saying UB would be at total maximum capacity 30,000?
Yes.
Or are you saying
They
what
don't
their number
they don't
is right
have
now
30,000.
plus 30?
No, they're not at 30,000 right now.
No.
They would have to build out the rest of the
Yeah.
stadium so it's not open,
Mm-hmm.
and then like get rid of the bleacher sections and make those like real seats and stuff like that. But that would get them to 30,000. But that would allow the Bills to play in Buffalo while the stadium is being built.
Okay, but what do you do with the season ticket holders?
You screw them over for 2 years. Are you going to go to Penn State every other weekend?
I don't know about that.
I'm just asking.
I don't know. But isn't there still a possibility that they could stay and play here? I thought while the stadium's being built, or am I just?
I thought there would be basically, nothing's official, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, the basic gist is they're rebuilding on the same site.
But I thought that them saying, "Oh, we're gonna go somewhere else," it was just a threat.
No, it was we have to go somewhere else while the stadium is being built. It's
I
not a
thought it was
threat. No, it's not a threat at all.
I don't know. I mean, if they like gave us money off, or like you don't have to pay for season tickets for 2 years.
Well, of
or,
course
like,
that would be
they
the
actually
case.
did like they gave like
It would be like you would
significant stuff
here's
because I would be missing or like
but
I don't
okay,
know.
here's the deal. You're gonna miss out no matter what.
Yes, but I don't like the this is gonna be really selfish. I don't like the possibility of missing out because there was the opportunity to not. Like if they went the UB route and they were like, okay, you're only being charged for how many games are home now? 9 or 8? It's still
8 or 9.
8 or 9. Okay, so being like, okay, these season ticket holders are going to get these games, or be like, we're gonna do it by seniority. What they could do is do it if they're gonna go UB, they should say do it by seniority. You get 4 games, pick them when the tickets run out.
Yep.
For the amount of season ticket holders, then we'll go that way, and the games will run out, and blah blah blah, because people will want that.
Yeah, I would think that with the season ticket holders that they wouldn't run out of seats.
And then but
I
you
mean,
would
it
have
would
to do
be
it that way,
season
and
ticket
then right, and then after that, it can go general public for whatever left.
No, I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't go general public.
Yeah. So yeah, which would be fine because you'll still have season ticket holders who would get the tickets and then just sell them. I mean,
Right.
you just have people who just get season tickets just to sell them.
Right.
So
well, yeah, you have that today.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying is like you have season ticket holders.
I mean, because
now.
your other options are to cross the border.
Right. Which I would be more fine with than going to Penn State.
4 hours to Penn State.
Yeah.
With a caravan of 60,000 people.
Yeah.
Every other week.
Yeah. I would want to go like the night before. Stay in like a $50 a night hotel or something.
Or rent a camper with 8 friends or something.
Yeah. I mean, if the only thing I worry about with UB is like, do they have the I know they have the ability to expand the stadium and do all that, but do they have the ability to actually host an event like that?
Well, the Bills would help.
I know the Bills would help, but
I mean, it would basically be on the
I guess
bills,
is UB
right?
I just
Here's-
don't feel
here's-
like UB is laid out right for it. I feel like there would just be it would be constant traffic.
But okay, you're thinking of a 75,000 seat stadium, right?
Okay, but I'm even thinking
Think-
after regular UB
think-
games.
Well, and that's not even a full stadium. That's,
Right.
That's a
But
stadium.
there's still
with-
issues getting
That's
out.
a stadium that's 20% full, maybe.
I know, but even with that, there's still issues getting out.
Oh, I
mean,
agree.
There's still issues getting out of a
They may
of a
have to-
concert at the Center for the Arts.
Yeah.
So
So you
I mean,
okay?
what?
No, I don't know. I don't know that there's a correct answer. I guess.
I mean, if they were to pick UB, yeah, I don't know. I mean, could you like? I mean, the thing that I would think of would be you would have to make it. I think you should you would have to kind of section it off more than they do. Put like a heavy police presence and then really direct people and be like, okay, here is the parking.
Well, the one
Here is the tailgating.
right, and students you can't count.
Right. Students go away.
Right.
Unless you're a season ticket holder or whatever. But
right.
because the thing you could do.
Well, it would be the same problem at Penn State. Like you would have
But
you would have college kids
Yeah.
coming and drinking when they're underage. I mean that
yeah.
that doesn't happen most places.
If they go to
That was a joke. Okay.
Toronto, would they be playing in Air Canada, right?
No, they'd be playing at Skydome or whatever it's called now,
Oh. Okay.
where the Jays don't play.
Oh.
Yeah,
They'd be playing in a baseball stadium?
Yeah.
Oh.
you don't remember the Toronto series, do you?
You'd be so far away. Ugh. That's terrible. Ugh. God, I hate that idea too. So wait, so even when the Bills were doing that weird thing where they would go play the game in Toronto, that's where the games were?
Yeah. The ACC is not big enough, or it's not called. Oh, it's the Rogers Center now, right?
Yeah. Boy, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's tough. That's good.
I mean, they're not even talking about it being an option. They're not even talking about UB being an option. They're just talking about. But to me,
well, yeah,
it should be something they consider. But in the end, does it screw UB over, or do they need to partner with the Bills to say you're going to help our football program long term, kind of thing?
Well, I mean, it would definitely screw UB over because you wouldn't be able to have anything for that entire season.
But they don't have anything on Sundays now. And the MAC plays Tuesday and Thursday games too, so they'd be able to do that.
Okay, well, I mean, even shows though.
Oh, they don't have shows in the stadium.
I know they don't have shows in the stadium, but you're still going to have interference if there's a show at the same time at the Center for the Arts as there is at the stadium.
Oh, you mean parking problems?
Yeah,
They would have to figure that out. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, they would just have to figure out the parking.
Yeah, I mean, I think, besides the
It may
stadium
be
not seating
buses.
everybody, but that's true. That's true. Ugh.
Okay, but would you rather wait 45 minutes to take a bus to UB or go 2 hours to Toronto where you can't drink because you have to drive back?
Oh, yeah, true. Why not?
And you'll get stopped at the border.
Right.
And
Or drive 4 hours.
or drive 4 hours to Penn State.
Yeah, I mean,
there's probably some happy medium where they can play.
people think they should go to Syracuse. I'm like,
Well, it's closer by an hour.
yeah. I'm like,
And the traffic there See, the traffic on the 90 would be exactly the same. I mean, the traffic
That drive would be
anywhere,
terrible.
but the drive to Penn State that's normally 4 hours would probably take you 6. Because it would be 60,000 people all trying to get to the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, that stadium seats
And knowing
100,000
me,
people.
I'd be like, I'm gonna go a different way, and I'd go like all the way to New York City and then come back or
Right.
something stupid. Yeah. Well, no, because people would also take the 219.
Right. That's the way. And that's it. There's no highway to Penn State.
There's no.
It's all back roads.
There is no right answer. Honestly, I mean, all of the options suck.
What if they work with ECC to create a 30,000 seats?
I mean, yeah, yeah, all the options suck. Because if you go UB, you're then saying for 2 years, you season ticket holders don't get to go to all the games or however that's going to play out. Then, right, you have a 4-hour drive to Penn State. Then you have a 2-hour drive to Toronto where you can't really get that messed up because you're going to have to drive back. And
On the QEW.
well, you can't Uber, you can't do anything like that. You can't take a taxi. Like,
You could they're getting high speed rail. Now, if that fell into place at the right time,
you can have a high-speed rail go over the water directly into Buffalo.
I'm just saying high speed rail to Toronto. They're working on high speed rail. They've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah.
If they can get that to fall at the right time to when they're building like 2026 or whatever year it's going to be, when they're building the new stadium.
Right. That's the way you could do it.
That's the way you could do it.
Yeah. The only thing I would fear is that ticket prices are going to be $200 for that.
For the rail?
Yeah. But
how much for gas?
They could do packages.
Right. Include it with your season tickets.
Yeah. 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 If you're paying, yeah. Include a free rail pass for every single game.
No. Your season ticket price would be jacked up, dude. But you would have the ability to get a rail pass.
Which I would be fine with. That would be fine. If my season ticket price went up a little bit just to pay for it, whatever, for that, I would be fine with that.
Maybe you could rent a helicopter to go to Penn State. The one thing about Penn State, right? Is that
Penn State.
No. Well, one thing is that it seats 100,000 people, right? So that could be an amazing experience. The other thing is that their tailgating experience is known as the best in football, right? So, I mean...
And the Pagoolers are from there. Well, not from there, but they put a lot of money into that school.
Well, that's why it's an option, I think, right?
Because the Pagoolers will be like, we'll give you more money.
Right.
If you let us do this.
Which to me, they should do to UB.
Yeah.
And help UB instead of helping Penn State, because Penn State's fairly rich.
Yeah. There really isn't a right option. All of them suck unless you had the high-speed rail fall into place at the right time. But you need that to happen at the right time. And so far, that hasn't happened. So, as of right now, they all suck. There isn't a right option here. But, the stadium does have to be rebuilt. They kind of just let that go.
No.
They did the $150 million renovations right when the Pagoolers bought it, and then they haven't done anything since.
What were they supposed to do? The stadium is the stadium, right? You can't... Remember when you were talking about concrete jungles for baseball stadiums?
Yeah.
That's what this is. You can't expand the halls.
Yeah.
Because it's concrete.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to take Thor, Mjolnir and break it down the middle and split it, or
Well, I
whatever
mean,
the axe is
they
called. I don't
did the
know.
whole thing, the whole test or whatever, where they were like, it
What
was
is the
just
axe called?
his hammer.
Not the hammer. The hammer is Mjolnir, or whatever.
Oh, the axe, Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm impressed. I knew that. um, I mean, they did do. I don't know how real it is, but I mean, they did do the whole test where they were like, "It would just be less expensive if we just built a new stadium instead of renovating this one." But
Right.
that could. I mean, they could also just be like, "Ha ha ha! We never did one. We just wanted to build a new stadium the whole time."
Look, the smartest thing for the Bills to do, period, is to build a new stadium.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't keep renovating this one. They just can't.
Well, at a certain point, I mean, look at the Bears stadium. I mean, at a certain point, you can't.
Well, right. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So let's move on. So, Duncan Keith is asked to be traded.
Yes.
That's the story. Jonathan Taves,
I mean,
had an autoimmune disease that
Pierre
caused
LeBrun-
him to be autoimmune.
Pierre LeBrun retweeted it and said that he agreed with everything that Elliott said in the tweet, where he was saying, you know, he's working with the thing, wants to go to the Pacific Northwest or Western Canada. They're Keith's group and the organization, the Chicago organization, are working very close together. Pierre LeBrun then retweeted it and said there is also a possibility this doesn't happen because he said the ball is like the whole thing is completely controlled by Keith. He's like, Chicago has no say because he has the no movement.
Right.
So like he has to okay the trade.
Right.
So Pierre's like, if the trade isn't right, they can't get him to where he wants to go. He's going to just be like, okay, I'll stay then.
So that's, I mean, it's the same situation that the Sabres have with Skinner.
Yeah.
Right. So, or Okposo, actually. Well, they have to protect both.
I think that's more of a hopeful with Okposo than.
No, they have to protect both though for the Seattle.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. Yeah. Moving on. What do we got next?
Giannis.
Yeah. That was gross.
Did you see?
That was gross.
Did you
that
see it?
Gross. Yes.
How did you see it?
I was watching it on TV. I was watching it as it happened. This is what happened.
We must have been like 2 minutes off.
Well, we do
right?
YouTube TV. So
Okay.
I was weirdly like minutes off at some point because sometimes like it buffers without you knowing, but the video still plays while it's buffering and then you get behind somehow. Don't understand how that works. And it doesn't make sense, but it's what happens. So yes, I was like 2 minutes behind, but right when I text like,
watch us like get disconnected from YouTube right now.
So I have like a group chat with like the guys I play Warzone with.
Yeah.
And I put in there, oh no, Giannis, ... He missed 2 free throws very badly. I'm not kidding. The second he got hurt. And then I went, oh my God, he got hurt.
Well, you had tweeted that to me. Oh no, Giannis. So I thought you saw the injury.
Well, I was talking about the free throws.
Right.
When I said that to you.
Me after that.
Yeah.
Or you texted me
rather
after that.
I was talking about the free throws because I meant to text you.
He had airballed like 4 or 5 times that night.
Kenny kept saying he airballed 3 times in the halftime. But when I texted you that, I didn't like send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was sitting there on my phone, but then I sent it to you to be like, you know, making a joke. Oh my God, Giannis missed the 2 free throws very badly. And right as I did that to you and the group chat, he got hurt. And I was like, oh.
So for those who don't know, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah. Yeah, I know it. It's
not the easiest.
I just don't want to show off. So he lands, he's going up for a rebound, he comes down, he lands on Clint Capella. Him and Clint Capella get mixed up, and his Noah's gonna show the picture, but his left leg, you can't really see it, dude.
Hold on. I'm trying to like get it to focus. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
We're right where I'm pointing, folks.
That's Giannis's leg.
It's going the wrong way, his knee. But okay, so earlier today it was reported that he was fine.
Well, he has no structural damage.
No structural
like
damage.
the ligaments are fine, but he still hyperextended it.
So that's the report now, is that he hyperextended his knee and he's doubtful for game 5.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Right. So I'm hoping Trae Young is doubtful for game 5, but he'll probably play.
Well, the Hawks tied it at 2, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that the person when a series is tied at 2-2,
whoever
the
wins
team
game
that
5
goes on to win game 5 wins the best of 7 series 87% of the time.
That used to be a higher percentage. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I would assume, yeah.
It used to be a higher percentage, and
Now
now
you're seeing more diversity in NBA
Right.
now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
So
the more interesting series to me is Phoenix.
we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
We're gonna get to that. So
because I gotta make my point about
Yeah.
Paul George.
So what do you think? Where does this register on your radar, if it registers at all, about the Lakers hiring David Fizdale as an assistant coach?
It raised my eyebrows. I went, huh? And that's about it.
He's a good coach.
He's a good assistant. I mean, he was a scapegoat from Memphis, like completely, when he was let go.
50 from Memphis.
Yeah, but like the way he was let go and like all that stuff, there was like, I mean, the story came out about how he literally was used as like the scapegoat for the ownership or whatever.
Why am I yawning? You're yawning, and it's making me yawn.
I have not yawned.
No, you have. We can rewind it.
Okay. Well, now that we're talking about yawning, I have to yawn. I can feel it coming, so I'm gonna yawn at some point coming up. But I mean, I went, huh? But yeah, he's a very good assistant. He's a very good teacher.
Yeah.
And so for the Lakers,
And good at defense.
That makes sense.
Because LeBron needs to learn the game. So.
No, because LeBron's on the way out the door, and Anthony Davis still needs to learn how to be LeBron until the Lakers can bring in somebody else. Maybe his kid.
Who will need to learn
From Dave Fizdale. And the circle of life will have been completed.
Okay, so last one before we go to Suns Clippers.
Okay.
In NASCAR, did you hear about Chip Ganassi?
No.
Okay, so Chip Ganassi, legendary owner in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, or in the National Racing Hall of Fame, whatever it is.
Yep.
He sold his NASCAR team.
Look what you did. Why?
He got a good offer from some guy named Justin Marks.
Everything is for sale.
He only sold his NASCAR team. He kept his Indy team. He kept his other street whatever team. He kept the Fast and Furious franchise. But Chip Ganassi Racing is infamous with racing. It's one of those brands that is up there with Hendricks and right up there as owners in NASCAR. And
Wow.
now the new owners are Trackhouse Racing. Ganassi said the offer was great and required his attention.
Everything has a price.
I think
even
he said it came out of the blue. He said it really came out of the blue. And what he said, and this is a good point, he said NASCAR is getting younger with owners, right?
Good for him.
And
It's
he's
time.
He said, so this guy, he made the offer, and so
Legends always know when to walk away.
So Daniel Suarez is in one car.
Mhm.
They're gonna give out 2 cars.
Yeah.
This year they raced 2, Suarez and Kyle Busch. I think it was Kyle.
Okay.
And they're not sure if Kyle Busch is going to come back or not.
I mean,
So-
that makes sense for Kyle because I mean he's at the point of his career where he's making enough money where
probably
like,
make
he's
his own
like,
team.
well, not even just that, but it's like I don't want my stuff to be messed around with. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like new ownership coming in.
No,
Like
you know what? No, the Ganassi even sold his entire shop
yeah.
in North Carolina.
Well, okay, then there you go.
He sold
Yeah.
all of it.
Well, yeah. Then if I'm Kyle Busch, I'm going okay. Yeah, no, because I've worked with these people for X amount of years.
Oh no, the people.
Oh, the
they're-
people are staying.
Well, he said all of the people will be looked at to stay,
Oh, okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, they'll all be whatever happens when someone buys something new.
Well, right. They have to evaluate, and then they
we're
make their
gonna
own
do the
decisions.
evaluation,
Yeah.
and you know, but we're gonna try and keep the people around.
Yeah.
Who
But I still
are applicable.
I still think it makes sense for Kyle Busch because I mean he's still super. I mean he has to be close to retirement, isn't he? The older.
No, he's the younger.
Oh.
Kurt's the older.
Okay. Well, he has to be thinking. I mean, he also has to do, I think, what's best for his career. I mean, if you're sitting there and you have these new owners coming in, you don't really know what's happening. They said they're going to evaluate, and you're so far along into your NASCAR career that you're basically a household name in NASCAR. Do you really want to deal with these brand new guys that you never heard of that you don't really know what they're going to do? Or do you want to make your own team? Or do you want to go to somewhere like Hendricks and just be at a place that's established, you know what you're getting, and just be there for the rest of your career and then retire? You know?
Well, apparently Pitbull is part of the ownership.
Oh, great. You know we love him. Yeah, it makes sense for Kyle to, you know, I think want to at least be like, let me think about it.
Well, and other owners would want him.
I would assume if he were like, I'm open, I'm a free agent, I would assume a bunch of people would want him.
Right.
He's a household name. He is Kyle Busch. But yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, and it's good on Ganassi. That's smart saying that. You know, ownership in NASCAR is getting younger. He's right.
Right. He mentioned
It's a different era.
He mentioned Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He mentioned how Jeff Gordon is going to take on the VP role at Hendricks Motorsports.
Right.
And Brad Keselowski at the end of the season is moving to Roush Fenway.
It gives him an ownership stake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna. I mean, we were just talking about diversification in college sports with sports agents and all those different things. Now you're starting to see that in NASCAR and across sports. These you know, these athletes and stuff, you know, doing moves like that, which gives them like an ownership stake, or like doing certain stuff where it's like, okay, when I retire, I'm going to be an assistant coach, like, or I'm going to be a scout. Like, you're starting to see that kind of stuff, I think, happen more and more and more because athletes want to always make
Kyle.
money.
It's Kurt Busch was their other racer this year.
Oh,
so that's why he may not be back.
Oh,
because he's Kurt, not Kyle.
Yeah, he's Kurt. But going back to what I was saying, you're starting to see this diversification because you're starting to, which is good, which is definitely a change from the past. You're starting to see a lot more athletes think about life after retirement.
Yeah.
Instead of, I have all this money, I'm going to spend it.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. So you're starting to see these certain type of deals happen, these certain type of money moves going on. And it's a true diversification of the term athlete. I mean, think of all LeBron has a movie coming out. Like, he's been in a movie. He's been in multiple movies. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even just think about that. You know,
Trainwreck.
he was in something else too, I think.
Yeah.
So like,
Space Jam.
this was another one. I swear. I feel like
swear.
there was something else.
I
What?
swear.
Yeah, I think, you know, I always feel like NASCAR has like smart owners. Like, I really feel like to own a NASCAR team, you have to be smart to a certain extent because you have to bring in the right people. You have to put the right racers together. Because, like, if you have two racers who hate each other, like, they're not going to help each other win. They're not going to do the things that the teammates do on the track. Because, like, you can't put Kyle Busch and Eric Almirola on the same team. Weren't they the two that fought each other? I mean, you could. But
the thing about NASCAR fights, right, is like you hate each other when you're on the track, and then if you become teammates, okay, you're cool. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the way it happens in all sports. But
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like NASCAR owners still though. I mean, you still have to bring in the right pit crew people. Like you still have to bring in.
We're gonna own a NASCAR team. A game day 7 will be
We could.
number 716.
Do you know it's super cheap actually to like buy a car in like the Mud series or something?
We could do a car in the racetrack
That's
up here.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like over here.
Yeah.
Whatever that one. Whatever the name of it
Grandpa
is.
used to take me to it, and I don't remember it.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. I know it ends at Speedway, but outside of that, I don't know, man. What do we got next? Are we on this Phoenix?
We can be.
Okay.
Wait.
Do you have more?
Do you want to talk about this girl at 15 playing in the NWSL?
Good for her.
Okay.
All right, moving on. What else?
Djokovic won today.
Okay.
Andy Murray won in 5 sets.
Isn't he retired?
I thought so too, but you know what? Maybe
well,
with
he
the
could
water
be playing
down
in like the old people league or whatever that's called.
No,
the one where they don't really take it seriously.
No, they wouldn't do that in Wimbledon. Oh, the Euro.
Yeah.
Who are you pulling for? We're down to the final. Who won today? Do you know?
No. What? Whoa. What? I'll put my money behind Denmark. Just because that one guy almost died. And it's a good story.
I think everyone's rooting for
because,
Denmark, right?
Well, they weren't supposed to make it this far. If I think.
No, they weren't.
Like, yeah.
They were long shots.
They were, yeah.
Not super long shots, but they were long shots. And it's a little country, you know. So are we gonna go watch this weekend?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. We'll go watch some.
I can invite Tim. I can invite Mike. We can have our male best friends meet each other.
Mike, who's kicked out of our fantasy football league. Because CJ and Paul joined.
All right. Let's get to Phoenix.
Phoenix.
You ready?
Phoenix Clippers.
Yes.
Phoenix up 3-2.
Yes.
Game 6. Esta noche.
In 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So let's wrap that up.
Yeah, I wanna you had a thing.
So
you had a thing.
This is your show. Okay, this is my I just wanted to make sure we were good. You were passing the torch. I don't wanna, so yes. Phoenix game 6 tonight. Phoenix is up 3-2 after LA won last game. What's today? Wednesday? Monday. So after Monday's game, Paul George and DeMarcus Cousins were both asked a question along the lines of, why do you, Paul George, get so much hate? It wasn't that, but it was like that. Paul George went on to say, what you have to deal with as a player. It is what it is. DeMarcus Cousins went on to say, I have no idea why. I don't understand. Paul George is the greatest teammate anybody can ask for.
Really?
I don't understand why anybody would think that he is not deserving of a superstar status. Now, my thought. Now, the question is, why does everybody hate on Paul George? And that has been debated for the past 2 days. Here's my take, and I have not told him this take. We have not texted about it. I told him that I wanted a completely blind
We have not
reaction.
talked about this at all, folks.
Here is my take on Paul George and why everybody hates Paul George. He is a superstar, obviously. He's been to the Olympics. He, made a name for himself in Indiana. He's done what he is. He is considered one of the superstars in the NBA. Now, is he good enough to be considered a perennial superstar like a LeBron? Is he able to be talked about in the same conversation as guys like LeBron, guys like Kawhi? No, and here is why. Paul George is what is considered to be an inconsistent superstar.
Can we start with one thing? Can I just interrupt for one thing?
Yeah.
First, as far as superstars, there's LeBron and Steph.
Okay, I know,
and then
he's not,
and then
nobody's in the same conversation of them, but you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm
just making sure.
Okay, there are in my head, there are tiers to superstars.
Of course.
Paul George,
there's tiers to popularity, or
LeBron and Steph are in
a different land.
Yes. So let's completely take them out of the equation.
Okay.
In my thought, tier 1 would be filled with the likes of Kawhi Leonard, Giannis. You could put in there, KD, Kyrie, those type of guys. People. So the thought
Lakers
here
forward.
Oh, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Yes. Those guys. That's your tier 1 status.
Mm-hmm.
Paul George, to me, is a tier 3 bordering.
So give me your tier 2 then.
So tier 2 would be like that.
See, I would
put
be
like
Kyrie.
The Devin Bookers, Jason Tatum's, like those guys.
So
Luka would be there. That's like
Donovan Mitchell.
It's your next. So tier 2. So tier 1 is the guys who are the current guys that are dominating the NBA, that are the older breed. To me, like those are but like the guys like Luka and Giannis, they're getting there, or they're there to a certain extent. So tier 2 would be filled with the guys that are part of the younger generation that are going to take over for them. So Tatum, Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Gobert, like those guys. That group of like really freaking good 22 to 26-year-olds, right?
Okay.
To me, Paul George is a high-end tier 3 bordering on a tier 2 superstar. And there is one reason why. He is inconsistent.
Right.
He is one of the most.
That's not the only reason. But
that is to me, though, that is the main reason of why Paul George gets so much disrespect. It's not even disrespect. It's like deserved disrespect. I don't know like what to call that. Ridicule. There we go. Why he gets so much ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he is so inconsistent. He dropped what was that when they lost over the weekend? He dropped like 45 points.
Yeah.
And then missed the 2 free throws that would have won them the game.
Right.
Then in the next one, he did it again.
Yeah.
So like
that's why he gets hate.
That's why he gets hate, because you can't sit there and say, I deserve this. This is where I should be.
I tweeted this out at game. It would have been game 4, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
He was having a good game.
Well, right? Yeah, that was the game where
and they lost.
Right. That was the second game in a row where he missed the free throws and they lost.
He balled out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He balled out and then missed the free throws. Yeah.
So what I tweeted out at that time was he gets the most useless stats in the NBA.
Yes.
And that's how I feel about Paul George.
Yes.
His stats, they're
They're what superstars do. I mean, he
the
averages
stat right.
the
If you look
stats.
at the numbers, right?
Right. You would go, I want this guy. This guy
Right.
has to be amazing.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, you cannot trust him. And that's why he is deserving of a tier 3. Now it could be it's a high end tier 3.
This is a 4-person conversation because we need a name for that type of player.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can bring it up with them. There we go. Because that's our show next week, is the 4-person show. So this is prefacing, we will bring this up as well next week. But yeah, because I think we're on the same page with Paul George, where if somebody were to blindly tell you what Paul George's stat line was for the 2020 like this last season, like without you knowing that it was him, you would sit there and go, whoa, this guy is great. Right. 54 games played, 33.7 minutes, 23.3 points, 46.7 shooting percentage, 41.1 3-point, 6.6 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 1.1 steals, 0.4 blocks. That's what he got for the 2020. This is what it says for 2020.
For this season.
Yeah. I don't know if that's this season. That is this season. Yes. That's what he got
So
for
how many
this
points
season.
per game?
He got, where is it? 23.3. That is, excuse me,
Career high?
his third highest. That is his third highest points average.
23.3 with over 5 assists.
Yep. He had 5.2 assists and he had 6.6 total rebounds. 5.8 of those being defensive.
What's the offensive ones that are more impressive?
Is 0.8. But yes, he averaged about 5 assists, he averaged about 7 rebounds, and he averaged about 23 points. That's a pretty good stat line.
Right. Until you look at the deeper metrics.
Right.
Is
Because
that kind of what you're getting towards?
well, not even just that.
That's the whole point. Like,
my point.
I don't know the deeper metrics for basketball.
I don't know
at
either.
all.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you moneyballed Paul George,
yeah,
he would be the exact type of player you don't want, right?
Because he gets all the stats,
right,
but he doesn't do anything with it.
Right. He's Jason Giambi, right?
Yeah.
You're pushing him out the door. Brad Pitt is sitting there with what's his face?
Yeah.
And telling him
Jonah Hill.
Right. And Jonah Hill is telling him, we don't want Jason Giambi, we want Jeremy Giambi.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
But this is also why Paul George didn't work in Indiana, because he cannot be a Batman. He needs a Robin. Or no, he needs to be the Robin. He cannot be a Batman.
With that. He plays his best when he is the alpha.
He plays his best when he is the alpha, but he can't close the game out. If Kawhi was there,
he needs
that game would have been won. Right, which is why.
But that he can still be the alpha. But Kawhi is an alpha.
But to me, that's not being an alpha.
Kawhi is an alpha, right?
Yeah.
But if and I don't know that makes George. It does. It makes George the secondary, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they run their offense through Kawhi.
Right. So,
if you're doing the options on NBA, he's the first scoring option.
So, I guess, yeah. I mean, Kawhi is, like you said, first tier.
Mm-hmm.
If you just looked at stats, George would be right there.
Right. If you were to make superstars based on,
but if
stats,
you were to
he would be
do
there.
A fantasy draft,
he wouldn't be taken.
He
would be taken after all those guys I mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's at least 2-3 rounds of guys that would be taken
like
before Paul George.
Not like a fantasy basketball draft because he's perfect for fantasy basketball,
Yes.
right?
If you're talking about if you were to redo the league.
Right.
Yeah. No, there's a whole list of guys who I'm taking before Paul George, who I'm targeting before Paul George. If I'm an expansion team and like let's just say there's no rules, whatever, and I get my pick of the litter, like Paul, like there's 20 to 30 guys I can think of who I would want ahead of Paul George. Maybe not that many, but there's a decent number of guys that I would want before Paul George. And there's a very high possibility that I would be able to fill out my team before I would even think about picking Paul George.
Absolutely. I think you could fill out 2 teams.
Yeah. So that's 30 guys if you're doing full 15.
Full 15. Yeah.
So there's what, at least 30 guys in the NBA that.
Well, I mean, one of the problems is he plays shooting guard / small forward.
Right. And
Right.
there's a huge
amount of
really
talented,
really good players at that position.
Right.
Like I'm taking Luka or Tatum
Luka's a
or
point guard.
LeBron or like, you know, but yeah, that's the other issue. But regardless, there isn't anything Paul George does to make him stand out. There isn't anything about Paul George where like his leadership isn't talked about. You don't hear what he's like as like a teammate, but you also don't hear like, you know, the other part where he's this awful guy, which I guess is good, but like there isn't anything about Paul George where you're like, I need that guy on my team. I need that guy in my locker room. I need that guy on the roster. I mean, the only reason LA got him was because Kawhi was like, I need someone to run with. The rest of these guys are trash. Go get me somebody.
And shockingly, Paul George was available.
Right. And it's because Paul George is an alpha.
He doesn't make you better.
But he doesn't. And to me, that's not being an alpha. If you need somebody, if you can it's like you can bring your horse right up to the edge of the water, but you need somebody to take it that extra step to be like, here, drink it. And you can't do that. That to me does not make you an alpha. That makes you a beta. That makes you a Robin. If you need someone to come in and close out the game for you because you cannot do it, you are a beta. You are a Robin in this league. Look at where LeBron. Look at the conversations everybody had about LeBron when he was in Miami and he passed up that shot. It was the exact same conversation. And it's because everybody wanted to hate on LeBron, but it was the same conversation. And then LeBron was like, no, I am an alpha. And then came out next year and won a championship with Miami. And and he carried them to there.
Yep.
Paul George has yet to show any ounce that he can do that.
Okay, question for you. Paul George or Jimmy Butler?
I would take Jimmy Butler.
Really?
Because Jimmy Butler cares. Because I know because there have been those reports of Jimmy Butler getting in Cat's face when he was in Minnesota, being like, you're not trying hard enough. Getting in Tyler Hero's face in the finals.
That's definitely a thing with Butler is his passion.
Right. And that to me would weigh me more heavily towards Butler than it does with Paul George.
Maybe that's why Paul George gets the hate. It's because he always looks so aloof.
That's true.
See, like Kawhi looks aloof, but not really.
But he looks locked in.
He looks dialed in.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not an aloof look. It's just
I'm focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But George just looks he doesn't look like he's trying hard. He is I guess we kind of have established this player, right? That's what the index is for.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
He's the guy.
He's the guy who has the talent,
right?
And only plays because he has the talent, not because he loves the game.
Because he loves the game.
And with Butler, he plays because of both.
Right.
which is why you would want Butler over Paul George. If you are bringing in Paul George, you are bringing in Paul George strictly to score. You are not bringing him in to be a captain. You are not bringing him in
to play defense.
Well, yes, but you're bringing him in for what he brings you on the court. You are not bringing him in for any other
intangibles,
right? Because he doesn't have them. Cool. He can lead
and he
LA to a win. Right.
Concentration.
Before he missed those free throws,
funny when
he was over.
The words
he was
people
like
screw up sometimes.
2 for 6 or something.
Like someone was writing to me today, and they were trying to sound smart, and they misspelled the word literature.
Yeah.
Like terribly.
Okay.
No.
How do they spell it? Like literature?
LITITR. No even E in there. Literature.
Literature. Yeah, I can't even. Literature. I can't even do it. Yeah.
So, and then I was just saying concentration, and I couldn't get the full word out. So that just brought me to that. But yes, he is that player on the intangible index who is way down.
Yeah.
Right.
He only he's playing basketball because he's tall and he's good at basketball.
Not Kevin Costner.
No.
He doesn't play for love of the game.
No, he does not. No. And if he does, and he, is passionate in practice,
Paul George
have never heard anything about it.
Paul George, you're more than welcome to come on the show and defend yourself. Just send an email to GAMEDAY716.com at gmail.com. You can even just post on our site that you want to come on, and we'll have the interview and talk about your passion for the game and your love of sports and why you do get hate. And maybe we'll come around. That's our plea to you, Paul. Playoff Paul.
Also, if you're gonna have a nickname like Playoff Paul, why don't you go win?
But you adorn yourself that nickname.
Right. I mean, he doesn't have a ring.
He gave himself that nickname.
That's worse. That's worse. You're making it worse for yourself.
I know.
I mean, and then he is though a conundrum because he puts up these numbers. But it's like he has come through.
I feel the same about Anthony Davis. People say he's this all-star stud, etc. But I feel the same.
But he to me comes through more than Paul George. But he comes through in a different way. See, the thing I feel about Anthony Davis is he has the ability to adapt to what's happening. Like he can change the way he's doing the game.
Well, it just means he has a better skill set. But that doesn't mean that.
But Paul George doesn't do that. Like if it's not working for him, he just keeps trying. Before he missed those free throws, he was like 78% for the series, and he has not done well with late game free throws since he missed those.
All 5 of those late game free throws he's had since then.
I'm pretty sure he came into those free throws either only missing 2 or missing none. I think. I could be getting games confused. Okay. But you mean, yeah. The reason why people rag on him, the reason why people talk about him the way that they do is because he has not shown that he hasn't shown that he deserves not to be talked about that way. If I'm being honest,
I agree.
He hasn't done anything to be put me in tier 1. No ring.
Dude, you don't have to continue the argument with me.
Okay.
I've always felt that way. I felt that way since back when he was in Indiana. You're just going through the motions.
Yeah. And he's
your intangible index is way down here.
Yeah.
you don't bring intangibles to the table.
No. And yeah. And he's not an alpha either, which I think lowers the index even more. He's not. If they were up, I'm pretty sure they were up by a point. And if he would have hit both of those free throws, they would have put them up by 3.
I think you're right.
If Kawhi was playing, they would have won that game. Phoenix let him hang around. Phoenix let them get a lead. If Kawhi was there, they would have won that game.
Of course.
And I think, honestly, that should tell you everything you need to know about Paul George. If his other superstar on the team was there, they would have won the game, even though he dropped like 45 or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure he set his playoff record in points in that game. I'm about 90% positive. And they didn't win. They lost because of him. And they wouldn't have if the other superstar that he is paired with was there. Because he's Paul George.
Mm-hmm. And that's the case for him everywhere he's been.
Everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, though, doesn't have to do with his leg what happened with his leg either. He's always been like that. Like, it wasn't like he got his leg broken and now he's like a different player. No. He might not be exactly the same as he was before the leg, because you never are. But those intangibles were there to begin with, because he was in the league for like 4 seasons before that happened, right? Because it happened in the Olympics or training for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he was in the league for a while.
Yeah. So, I mean, using that, being like, well, he's also been removed for it, I'm pretty sure, for 2-3 seasons on top of it. So trying to use that as an excuse to try to like get him out of it, to say, well, he's not the same player. Breaking your leg is a big deal. And yes, it is, but it's the conversation we had. At what certain point do you get to stop using your injury and it's just the way the player is? And I think you're starting to see that now with Paul George. And you saw it. And it's been a consistent thing. He's a consistently inconsistent superstar. And that's Paul George in a nutshell. And that's my take, which we agree on.
Which we do agree on. Well,
you got anything else?
You ready for the final rundown?
All right, let's do it, and then we can wrap it up.
All right. So today was Keith Radford's last day as the host of the 6 o'clock Channel 7 News and 11 o'clock Channel 7 News.
He's old.
He is retired. He's not that old. He's
like in his 70s.
I don't know. So we offer our best wishes to Keith Radford. Victor Olofsson, 1 vote, 1 5th place vote for the Lady Bang. Congratulations to Victor.
Hey, at least the Sabres showed for something, right?
I want to send my love to Kenzie Knuckles, Thayer Hall, Marley Monsterez, Riley Zune, Maddie Kubick, and Elliot McCosick. These are players to look out for in this year's women's volleyball. And I didn't even touch on the female, the Texas team. What?
Nothing. I'm just
What? Those were just Florida and
Wisconsin?
And no, Nebraska.
Oh yeah, Nebraska.
Florida and Nebraska.
I think he's
Florida and Nebraska. Watch out for these 2 teams.
Okay.
Also watch out for Georgia Tech. They're coming on this year. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Predictions for the Suns game.
Suns win. Suns in 6.
Yeah, that would be if the Suns are gonna win.
Suns in 6.
You can start. Yeah.
But you're done.
Almost.
In like 2 minutes.
Any final thoughts?
Go Suns.
Go Suns.
Go Suns.
Go Suns.
Also, can you Kevin Adams? Can you trade Jack Eichel?
Just make it happen. So
Like
we
so,
can
like
stop.
we can have something to talk about,
Yeah,
or like Risto or Reinhardt. Just
do it.
someone.
Just do it. Finally, coming from us at GameDay716, we offer, and I hate saying thoughts and prayers, but thoughts and prayers to all of the victims of the Florida condo collapse. As of now, the number of victims are 18 with 2 children, and 145 people remain unaccounted for at this time. We are sending our love not just from one website, but for all of Buffalo, because Buffalo is a city of good neighbors. And we wish there's still hope. It's been nearly a week, but let's hold out hope that even if they can just find one person, that they find them. That's how we'll wrap this up for today. Be good to each other. Check your structural integrity on your houses. And
Yeah, don't let if you have a water problem in your basement, don't say it's fine and let it happen every year.
yeah. And oh, I did have one more, and it's completely wrong to say, so I'm not gonna say it.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So that's the end. As always, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time with the full crew.
Full crew.
Full crew.
Word.
Peace out.
Peace out.